Hello,
we are in a special lesson for the holiday of Hanukkah. We'll read selected excerpts on the topic of Hanukkah according to the wisdom of Kabbalah. Excerpt number 11 from the writings of Rabash, part 1, article The Miracle of Hanukkah. On Hanukkah, we poetically say the Greeks, etc., from the remaining of the cruces, the vases, was made the miracle of roses, sons of Bina, determined 8 days for song and rejoicing. And the commentators asked, why did they do 8 days of Hanukkah? Because they only had oil for 1 night, but the miracle was that it lasted for an additional 7 days. Hence, they should have determined 7 days, according to the miracle. And they explained, since there was oil left over from the first night, from what was necessary for the first night, it follows that on the first night it was also a miracle that not all the oil was burnt. But let's say that only part of the oil was burnt and the rest remained for 7 more days. Meaning,
this calculation clear? Yes? Okay, good. No, because sometimes there were questions about it, but if it's clear, good. It's worthwhile saying it for the viewers? Okay, no problem. Okay, so if I have this vessel, and in this I have oil for 1 day, and suddenly it's divided 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the miracle happens the first day already. Why? Because that same amount of oil that should have burned in 1 day, because this entire oil jug had to finish in 1 day, had to burn in 1 day, but only this part burnt. And it was enough for a full day. So that's already a miracle. On the second day, only this part burnt and no more. Miracle. It's clear, right? So let's say I have in my pocket 10 shekel, and I go to buy something, and to buy, and to buy, and to buy, and it's never ending. What are you laughing at? Is that a miracle or not? It's a miracle. Yeah. That you understand. Okay, go on. Meaning, from the first day, what does this tell us? You know, these philosophizations you can do about anything. For our wise guys, they have the mind to question everything. But what does this tell us? What are they trying to say here? So let's see. Yes?
meaning the fact that they found the cruse of oil, the vessel of oil that was stamped with the seal of the high priest, this is not considered a miracle, even though...
Can you hear? This isn't a miracle that they found this jug of oil, even with the imprint of the priest. So we've learned. What is the high priest? It's chasadim with the illumination of chokhmah. It's the complete spiritual force, also with chokhmah and also with chasadim. Go on.
Even though it was a miracle that the Greeks did not see the cruse of oil, since it was by nature and only something that is done above nature is considered a miracle. Since the vessel of oil was in the world, but they did not see it. However, the oil that was the amount used for lighting one night burnt only part of the oil, a small part that was blessed and burnt more than normal. This was not part of nature, meaning that there is no oil in nature that burns longer than expected. It follows that what was left from that first night, since not all the oil was burnt, this is called a miracle, since it does not exist in the world.
Is that clear or not? Unclear. So tell me, why didn't the Greeks see this jug of oil? Go on.
Because it's the attribute of bestowal and they're in reception.
Just like you, why don't you feel spirituality? Because you're not in the same spiritual sensations. What else do they ask there? What about the first night? Why didn't it finish in the first night? So why? Tell me, please. Why did the oil jug last for 8 days? Tell me. What was added to the oil, to this oil tin that it lit? Times 8.
Coarseness.
What coarseness?
They say zat, but what does it mean?
I don't know what that means, but that came from above. That's why it's called a miracle. However, from below, you can do the same, can't you? Why not? There are no miracles. A miracle is that it happened with no pre-preparation on our side. There are no miracles in nature, but it's that we don't see the action, all of its foundations, and that's why it's called a miracle. So why did the oil light for 8 days, times 8 than it was supposed to? I don't know.
Chaim from Jerusalem says that it was possible to perform actions above reasons, to add the oil.
True, he's right to an extent. So, how do we reach times 620 multiplied by 620 of the light for the light to the end of correction? So, what's your addition?
Desire.
To be more precise, it's exertion. You can't add a desire. That's what was created by the Creator. You add your exertion, meaning masach and coarseness, and by that we grow. In other words, if we would add to this oil tin, then it would be clear why it kept burning, but it happened from above. It's what we actually read today. That this is from above, this is from below. That in the first day they didn't give gratitude and praise, but only on the second day. So that's what it's all about. Because the miracle was done that they got the screen from above, they got the ability to connect to the light, and that's why it's the festival of lights that we celebrate. In short, in other words, the fact that it's burning times 8 than it's supposed to, that's calculation from above. And now we have determined for generations that we are now taking this awakening and using it in order to bring ourselves back to the state of Chafetz Chesed, Hanukkah. And then we get this light that burns 8 times the amount. Bina, Yemei Shmona. Bina is the 8 days. That in Hanukkah, we rise to the degree of 8. What's 8? 8 is Bina. And to Purim, we rise to Keter. Right? It's the inverse value of lights and vessels. And that's how we work on what we illustrated here. That all in all, where do we have the Hanukkah? Here, right? In the first and second zivug, where's Purim? The third zivug, the third coupling. And by that, all the work is completed. That's why Bnei Binah is the 8 days. You rise only to Binah. And the lights of Keter and Chokhmah, they're not used. It's prohibited to reveal them. You should already know Hanukkah so much. I don't know. When you go out, are you talking about this? Are you telling about this in different courses of yours or not? What are you doing like this for? So what am I teaching you for? Are you or are you not? Is it in the programs or not?
When it's closer.
What do you mean when it's closer? We're starting on Sunday. Go on, give him the mic.
Yeah, as Niv said, in campus we teach, and usually when the holiday comes close, we talk about it with the students.
So what are you talking about? Talking about lighting candles?
No, there's the signs according to the wisdom of Kabbalah. Each holiday and its signs will give a little taste of those things. And now we have a lot of different lectures specifically on Hanukkah. Moshe Admoni is working on a curriculum on the topic. We have a lot of material, also programs, links we share with the students. Also next week.
I think we have everything from Baal Sulam and Rabash. We're plowing it, going over it again and again. There isn't a lot left, right? We're hitting it hard. Yes, what do you want?
I wanted to say that in the young group of Israel, we work with those excerpts. And also next Tuesday, in all the branches of Israel, we invite all the campus graduates from first and second semester and local lectures to an evening of candle lighting, and they're going to have content that they're creating right now for that thing.
Shimon, am I going on Sunday somewhere?
The following Sunday.
Not this Sunday, the next? The 8th of Hanukkah. That's my lecture in a week, okay? There won't be much to talk about. On the last day, people don't remember the holiday anymore. Usually it's the first day, donuts and all these things, kids, so on. Okay, got it. Fine. What? Asaf, yes.
No, because everybody shared about dissemination that relates to Hanukkah, I have to share that there's a campaign in English that's coming out today, tomorrow. Many people worked on it. In the middle of it, there's a talk that you've done with Chaim Ratz that was very successful. And you connected the topic of Hanukkah to the war of Maccabees and Greeks, to what's happening with the Jews of the world and the relationship to Israel, and it's a very fascinating topic. We created the entire campaign and we're investing a lot of effort to disseminate it in English throughout Hanukkah.
Okay. Pass it on behind him. He's not relaxed today.
No, I'm very relaxed. But if we're talking about it, the big event of Hanukkah, it's going to take place in the Rabin Square. 6 groups from the center, Ra'anana, Kfar Saba, Tel Aviv, Rehovot, Hever, and Modi'in, work together with Petah Tikva, and for a whole week. They're going to come every day in the afternoon. We're going to light candles, going to have circles, discussion circles, connection games, and all of it under the auspices of the good ones. הטובים.
Go on.
Excerpt number 12 from the writings of Rabash, from the miracle of Hanukkah. It is written, from what remained of the oil tins were made roses. And tin means, as it is written, Rabbi Meir was purifying the worms in 150 te'amim, kan. Kufnun. meaning that everything is explained one way or the opposite. And how can one clarify it? It is not necessary, meaning that it is not needed for the body, something that one considers useless, which is bechinat above reason. And only this one can be saved from falling into the web of klipot. And this is the matter of the tin of oil that they found, sealed by the seal of the high priest. Priest is called chesed. Gadol, high priest, is chesed that became chokhmah, meaning abundance from chasadim, called bechinat priest, because priest is the attribute of chesed, and chesed indicates faith above reason, which is the matter of Abraham, who is the attribute of mercy and the father of faith. And the Greeks cannot see the bechina of faith, because they can only see within reason and not above reason. Hence, when they went above reason, the Greeks could no longer control them. And this is the meaning that the Greeks did not see the tin of oil. And the matter of the miracle that illuminated for 8 days is a hint that it illuminated the Bchina of Chasadim, of Bina, since from Bina to Malchut there are 8 Sfirot. However, the Chokhmah did not illuminate. Therefore, they decided on 8 days, since it illuminated only in Bechina 8. This is why it's written, the sons of Bina are the 8 days set in song and rejoicing.
Questions? I don't know what to add. All of these discernments we've been through. Right? Go on. Minotal kankanim, meaning what has remained from the tins, meaning everything the body has to control, and everything the body disregards, meaning the will to receive, we have to respect them, because they specifically belong to spirituality. So it's the opposite. So in our hands we have a clay that scrutinizes. Go on.
What kind of mood, atmosphere is required among the people of Israel? What is Hanukkah? What do we expect the people of Israel to do in such a holiday? To think, to want?
That's a question for a duty. I don't know what these guys are thinking to publish. The atmosphere that we need to have on Hanukkah is that we need to rise above corporeality. It's the festival of light. And above corporeality means that we're rising above our separation towards connection. At least, the first step is that we don't hate or reject one another. That's how it is in practice. If our entire correction is to reconnect back to the vessel of Adam Harishon, so we should take this very first step towards that, meaning to not hate one another. That's the Greeks inserting, meaning it's the ego awakening in man, so that should be neutralized. To be as chafetz chesed, delighted in mercy. I don't want anything for the others, I don't want anything for myself. It's as if I'm neutral, as if. If it's already on the degree of the high priest, the vessels of reception in order to bestow, that's already the connections between us. But at least we should be in a state that we are all in, well, it's called faith above reason, that we're trying to be above. It's like you have this condition. One condition was said by Hillel, one was said by Rabbi Akiva. What did Hillel say? What you hate, don't do to others. That is chafetz chesed. That's Hanukkah. Rabbi Akiva said, Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. That's already connection. That is already Purim.
עכשיו אני מעם ישראל ואני קשור עם אומות העולם.
I'm of the people of Israel and I'm connected with the nations of the world, and I receive from the newspapers, from TV, from the environment. They teach me to think first and foremost about myself before considering others. So what, I have to try to disconnect from this environment, to lower its importance? What to do practically?
You should at least understand that it's not working. It won't work if you think only of yourself. We've reached the state that our ego is teaching us otherwise. If previously it taught us how we can exploit one another, now we've reached a state that we are truly facing one another with our ego to its full extent in its stinging nature. And now we begin to see that we cannot live that way. We can't live because there are so many enemies and haters that the world, it's not considered life, if you can even exist. But you actually cannot. So I have nothing to add. I write about this in the blogs, in the newspapers. Yes? To tell the people what to do, that without connection they cannot continue. It's what I wrote in all my articles. I don't know what to add anymore. All in all, the idea is simple. And other than light or kli and the right relation between them, you have nothing. The wisdom is simple.
So I'm going out today. I listen to the channel, to the lesson. I go out. I try to avoid doing any harm to others, or maybe I'll even go another step and try to do something good to someone. I'll do something if I help an older lady cross the road. No intention. I'll just take her across the road. Is there some remedy in it? Some sgula?
There are actions that increase peace in the world. They should be done because, first of all, it educates you. It educates you. Start driving in a way that anyone who wants to enter your lane, let them get in before you. Try it. Try it again and again and again. That's it. And you'll see how it educates you. Now with all the rest, with other things as well, try and make an effort to hold on to your thoughts. How critical your approach is to everything still vegetative, animated speaking. How you always see in them something negative. Your view is, first of all, negative. And if it's positive, then most likely you had this great upliftment, and that's why you're still in that mood, which softens you. But usually, you live with an approach of criticizing everything that is around you. And you see everything in that critical light. Meaning you do not see the thing itself or the positive side of it in spirituality or the negative side of it in corporeality. So you don't see the thing itself. Why don't you see it? Because it does not exist. The thing itself does not exist. But that's already... Anyway, try it.
Shimi from Israel is asking, why did the Creator need the Greeks to give the Jews the miracle of the tin of oil?
Without the Greeks, we're not able to locate the vessels of reception, the vessels of bestowal, and work with them correctly. The Greeks and the Romans and all the degrees of descent that we have, It's necessary because if without that we don't have the Reshimot, we would not be able to reach corrections. What do you mean? How is it possible?
אתה מתאר את העולם שלנו כולל יהודים בלי אנטישמיות?
Can you imagine our world without anti-Semitism? Can you imagine what would happen to our world without it? The Jews would disappear ages ago. Ages ago. You need to say to them, thank you very much that the Creator is sending them. Because without them we would not exist. That's how it is. Our world exists only out of negativity or criticism. Hold on, we haven't finished yet, right? Item 13, go on.
Item 13 from the rungs of the ladder concerning the Hanukkah candles. The Hanukkah candles hint of a spiritual miracle, that the nation of Israel gained their freedom from the control of the Greek.
Yep, that's clear, right? So the Greeks are the individualists. Their qualities are individualistic. They want to disconnect me from others. They want to create confusion and chaos within me, so I won't be drawn to connection. And if I get rid of them and I'm ready for connection, even in this katnut, in Galgal Ta'inaim, in Chafetz Chesed, although in spirituality these are great degrees, then I already am in I'm already in Malchut of Atzilut. I'm already in Vak and Nekuda of Zon Atzilut. I'm already included in Bina. Only in the vessels of reception I'm still not working, but in the vessels of bestowal I am. I still have uncorrected vessels of reception, Achab Da'aliyah, that's still waiting for me, but all the rest of the vessels are already in Atzilut, above Parsa. What? That's it? No, go on, ask. Okay, go on.
המצב במדינה, בכלל בעולם,
The situation in Israel and in the world is a state of lack of leadership. I think it's one of the things that are most disturbing to people today.
Okay, go on.
How can we connect Hanukkah to that state? Because we see that in Israel, not unable to even do, how can you connect if you can the state of Hanukkah to that thing?
No.
Because that's what people are missing.
It's lacking, but you're not lacking. They're lacking a leader according to what they understand. They're lacking a leader that will bring them happiness, wealth, confidence, security and health. A person doesn't want anything other than that. Do you have a solution to that?
And how do we do it?
Do you have a solution for wealth, security and health?
Well, you say connection.
Fine, you say, but they don't connect these two things.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I have to try to clothe into that deficiency.
I don't know. I still don't know. Our explanation isn't close enough to them, if at all. Close.
That's my feeling too, that we're talking about something that might give the solution eventually, but there's no connection to the deficiency. A person says, I'm in a country, in a world where I feel that...
You can't go to them directly and say, if you love one another, then we'll have security. If you love or connect to one another, you'll have health. Maybe slightly. If we unite, then we'll have some kind of wealth, maybe, or happiness. Yeah, maybe, possibly, we'll move a bit closer to that. But other than that, no. Meaning, as we've learned today, you don't have this miracle that you can say, if you do this and that, That is a remedy. If you do this or that, a solution will pop up unexpectedly. That to healthy eyes of scientists, of cultural people, healthy in their minds, in their emotion, this is impossible. You're coming with this weird idea, and you're a good guy. You're saying, let's connect, very nice. But why are you telling this to us? Tell it to little kids. Leave us alone. We have enough problems to worry about. You understand? We cannot reach the people and convince them that connection is salvation. We cannot. It's immediate salvation. They'll say, yes, you could be right, but show it to me. Give me an example and I'm with you. Can you give an example?
Not yet.
So that's it, so we're done. So what are we working on? We're working, for now, on our good name. We're clearing up Bala Sulam, the wisdom of Kabbalah, B'nai Baruch, as much as we can to raise these things to the knowledge of the public, to the awareness of the public, that it's not something black, something that's a lie, and so on. But no more than that. From this point, and to reach the point that we explain to them that connection is the remedy for everything, this wondrous
magic
remedy,
potion.
we cannot do that yet. If we could, but it hasn't happened and it won't happen. But gradually, we need to give the light the ability to reform through all these environmental actions. Otherwise, we would have already jumped forward. Okay? Hopefully that it will happen. What? What's the difference of coming out of the dominance of the Greeks and coming out of the dominance of the Egyptians? Is there a difference in the process?
No, don't confuse us. So let's leave it. The Egyptians are the simple desire to receive. The Greeks are already. It's a desire to receive that's already in contact with the desire to bestow, which is the people of Israel. In Egypt, there is no desire to bestow yet. They want to build it. In each holiday, we need to realize it as much as possible. Next.
Item 14 from the writings of Rabash, second volume. Greeks have gathered around me and have broken the walls of my towers. Broken the walls of my towers, meaning created a breach in the wall called faith. Through the mitzvah of faith, we are rewarded with a tower full of good abundance.
Meaning the people of Israel were in the degree where they had faith, and the Greeks have breached it. That's the difference between that state, and Egypt.
Which is the sweetness and the savor of the upper pleasantness that is found in the Torah. A miracle happened, and the Creator helped them, and they defeated the Klippa of Greece. And by that, we're once again rewarded with a great light.
That added to the tin of oil, it's force instead of their force. That's like, turn unto me, and I will loan from me and borrow from me, and I will, and you can return it later. That's the shopkeeper puts everything down in his book. You can buy now and pay later, just like in the store. So the Creator does it, and then we repay Him. This is called a miracle.
And this is called the Hanukkah candle, meaning the light that one receives by keeping the faith.
על זה, מי ששואל.
On that, anyone who wants to ask on that, you sure?
עכשיו אמרת שהבורא פורע, מה החלק
You now
שלנו?
said that the Creator
בזה, ביגיעה הזאת, מה החלק של
is
הבורא?
depositing. So what's our part in this, and what's the part of the Creator?
נותן כוחות.
If you put in energy in a certain degree, but with your own forces, your own strength, your own energy, you cannot reach a state called Hanukkah because you're still in contact with the Greeks. You still have vessels of reception that you can't even identify, can't even purify, and so on. So the Creator gives you the strength to purify yourself, and you connect yourself to the great priest, meaning the light of Chasadim that also contains the light of Chokhmah, because there is no light of Chasadim in nature. It's a correction, a special correction. And then you purify all your Kalim, and you reach Hanukkah, and you repay him later. That's why it's written that initially there was no prayer of song and praise, and then they wrote it.
And adding this exertion, is that in the control of man to add this exertion? When you're saying to add it, is that in man's control?
Yes, of course. If not, they give you in advance, like in Hanukkah. They give you that miracle, that's why it's called a miracle. They give it to you, that state from above, and then you have to repay it, you have to correct it. That's, turn to me and I'll pay it. There's always those transitions from sanctity to klipa that they take, and then we take it, we retake it. Also the klipa that works against the sanctity. It's one mechanism. It's one mechanism that the Creator places on top of us. So a great host enters the kli, and then it vomits it out, and then it returns it, and then later it's turned to me, and I'll pay it for you in advance. Also in sanctity and in klipa, you work in such a way that's not immediate. You give me, and then I'll repay it later, and then I'll correct it later, because a person cannot correct anything except if he receives it from the klipa, and he has no strength for correction unless he receives it from kedusha, from sanctity. I have nothing. I'm zero. I need to receive from klipa and from the kedusha, and then I can connect the two. That's my work.
Sometimes it happens that when you summarize the day, then you see that you couldn't have done anything, any addition.
That's for today, but for tomorrow, you have to say, if not for me, then who? Friends, we have nowhere to run, only together. If we connect, all the doors open, all the strength comes to you. The secret is in connection.
Item number 15 from the Writings of Rabash, second volume, letter 43. The candle cannot burn until three conditions are met. 1. The candle, which is the vessel in which the oil is placed. 2. The oil. 3. The wick. While these three things are brought together, we can enjoy their light. And the vessel where the oil and the wick are put into, that is the body, called a candle. And in labor, of Torah and mitzvot, one feels contrasts in its providence concerning things that are not revealed to him, namely that the guidance of the world is in benevolence. According to man's view, the Creator should have guided the world differently, meaning that His goodness would be revealed to us all. Thus, it contradicts man's reason. And this is called a ptila, from the word ptaltul, since it flaws, these thoughts are flawed.
That's what connects man to the Creator, that this wick that's opposite to all the logic.
And the clarity and awakening that bring him to crave Torah and work, and feel the sweetness and pleasantness in Torah and work, are called oil. If one of them is missing, it is impossible to enjoy their light. Likewise, when the body consists of labor and clarity, one is rewarded with attaining the light of the Creator, which emerges specifically through the two of them. And just as there is nothing to illuminate once the oil and wick have burnt out, and it becomes dark, similarly, once the labor and clarity are over, he has no light, and it becomes dark for him once more. If he wishes to obtain more light, he must try to find more labor, called wick, and more clarity, called oil, since the light has nothing through which to seep and hold. And the clarity called oil comes mainly through faith, which is one's prevailing over the evil inclination that brings one to extensions and contradictions in the external intellect. This is called tests in the work of the Creator. After prevailing over it, one is rewarded with receiving the light of the Creator that illuminates to man's soul. And then there is no more room for contradictions. This is called the light of Hanuka. That is, he is rewarded with open providence that his guidance is benevolent to his creations.
Clear, or maybe you read it again? Okay, Terence, okay. Now you can.
Rav, pourquoi est-ce qu'on utilise de l'huile? Pourquoi pas par exemple du vinaigre ou bien du pétrole?
Rav, why do we use oil and not use, say, vinegar or petrol fuel?
Vinegar cannot light. Oh, that's first of all, what are you? Some righteous that has a vinegar that can burn? And oil, I mean, petroleum was not used back then. That's why we're not talking about it. They're not talking about it there. So naturally, they're using olive oil. You produce it, and it can be used for producing light right away. There are other forms. There's an excerpt on what can you use to start a fire. You can read that in the Siddur. It comes before Shabbat. And so how do they light? There's a long list of how to light the Shabbat candle, and what way, what kind of oil one can use. But more than anything, they've used olive oil. Olives are used for food, for oil. They used it. The other things are it's much harder to extract oil from other sources. They didn't have technologies. Rather, they just did it naturally. And olive is the most convenient source of oil. Part used for food, for cooking, part used for lighting. You have this oil lamp where the wick is constantly burning, and you have light. You can also use it, and pour a little bit on your food and eat. Altogether, there's also a lot of debate. Can you use the oil from there during Saturday or weekday?
Dennis Sandler from Moscow is asking, why is it considered a miracle if we see that there's a lot of exertion here? You need to exert greatly.
Certainly, because can we reach the Exodus from Egypt without exertion? It says the miracle of the Exodus. If it's a miracle, I'll just sit and wait. I don't do anything, and then suddenly the miracle takes place. You agree, I understand. But it's not happening this way, because you will not enjoy it because you have no kelim. The miracle is just about adding that amount of force that, according to the transition from the will to receive to the will to bestow, you cannot perform on your own. That birth is a miracle, because each time is into a new world. The Reshimo that exists in the sperm cell causes an embryo to form. So miracle means something that does not depend on you, but you have prepared yourself for it, and then with the addition of that extra special force from above, you graduate from the degree. That inversion that happens in the degree you cannot do on your own. That's why it's a miracle of the Exodus of Egypt, of Hanuka, and of Purim. That's a miracle. Everything else is on you. That's the exertion in the receiving of giving of the Torah and everywhere else. We have three miracles. One time to rise above the will to receive, second time to receive the will to bestow, the third time is the will to receive in order to bestow. Those corrections, the gradual corrections. And of course, the miracle of the Exodus from Egypt is the most powerful, because this is from God, the Chokhmah. The Creator, in all His glory, came down to save them from Egypt. It's the most powerful force, because it brings them, they have nothing of the will to bestow, and yet it brings them into the intention of in order to bestow. And afterwards, you can advance. They have the preparation to say, yes, we're ready to be as one man in one heart. Just give us the light of our forms and we're with you. There's an inner agreement. There's a foundation for them to agree. Yes?
This evening at 5 p.m. Israel time, our friends in Spain are giving an important interview to the local TV with 6 million viewers. So they asked for support, and they also maybe asked for focus. It's an interview in the wisdom of Kabbalah in Spain. If you have maybe a sentence.
I can say, what will you recommend for them without planning they're going?
No, of course they plan, but
say like this: we're all in a crisis, a final crisis, a terminal crisis, and the wisdom of Kabbalah that was revealed thousands of years ago in ancient Babylon in a similar crisis, and it's giving us the knowledge of how to come out of the crisis. That's it. It's worthwhile for us to look into it, and further to highlight that, to emphasize that the wisdom of Kabbalah developed greatly in Spain. One of its greatest sources came from Spain. Yeah.
Also in Gedera and Kiryat Gat, we have introductory lectures that were promoted by Revadim, Kiryat Gat and Ashkelon. And it was an example of Arvut. They came from their own initiative to help make a successful intro lecture for a different group. So Ashkelon's a big group, and they supported with Chaim Turka, they supported Kiryat Gat, which is a small group. So support Eli Merovich and Ariel Ershkovich that are going out tonight, and that will celebrate together tomorrow morning in the lesson and festive hummus meal.
Where?
Here, the regular lesson in Petach Tikva.
And I'm invited.
You're invited, and we have a special edition that the Israeli Social Committee is preparing a special preparation. So come at 20 to 3, similar to what we had in Moscow Congress, that before every lesson we prepared ourselves properly to come ready internally. So it's highly recommended from all of Israel to come.
Maybe I shouldn't come before 3. No, I don't want to confuse you. But I have that flat screen in my room. I can see you. I'll come towards 3.
Also yesterday we had this miracle where every friend passed on the importance of the goal to the friends. We want to extend this miracle for at least 8 days. So what do you recommend that we do today?
No, you're depending if you're according to House of Shammai or House of Hillel. Is it 8 days of miracles or only the first night a miracle? What do I recommend? Only connection. It takes you immediately to a place where you increase the connection between you, and then from above, by that you prepare yourself for the miracle. You obligate the miracle. This is called "My sons have defeated me." You obligate the Creator to do it. In spirituality, there are laws. If you, in those 3 states, in the Exodus of Egypt, Hanuka and Purim, you make this great effort to connect, which is called a war. You know, that's even with Pharaoh, it's a war, and also with Haman, it's war. So if you perform, if you exert, put in the effort, that's it. You attain, because these 3 degrees, it's already ready. You activate the spring, and it's done.
2 messages to conclude. Why do we choose to live as we do? Kabbalah College is inviting you to an introductory session to get to know the wisdom of Kabbalah and its relation to our life. Today, 7 p.m., Gedera, Kiryat Gat. Entrance is at no charge. You can get details on 1-700-509-209. Open Friday. Viewers of the Channel 66 and all of our students worldwide are invited to take part in a very special lesson. Friday, 2:45 a.m. Israel time. By that we'll conclude. Thanks and have a great day or night.
נכנסים אחד אחד כמו נחלים אל ים, בשירה יהללו כולם. הנה שוב אנחנו כאן שלובים מלב אל לב, את החושך נגרש ילך גם הכאב,
ביחד זה מרגיש כמו שמש בנשמה,
חודרת אל הלב כמנגינה. הגענו ברוכים הבאים, הגענו מה טוב ומה נעים, הגענו בשם אהבה אל האור, אל היכל הנשמה. הגענו ברוכים הבאים, הגענו מה טוב ומה נעים, הגענו בשם אהבה
השמחה, אל תוך האהבה נעשה את המחר לעולם מאושר. רק ביחד נריע, ביחד נשפיע, ביחד נגיע, רק ביחד נצעד אליך לאהבה.